Hello everyone, I am Lift, and today I'm going to be doing a brief Teamfight breakdown video. This doesn't mean that I've forgotten about the subscriber videos that I've received. I'm still working on them, and I'm presently very busy with prep work for a certain team that I can't yet talk about. But this match is between Hammers and Tribe in the Vainglory 8 Challenge Battles of Split 1. I want to break it down as thoroughly as possible and help you all learn how a pro team fight flows through using this. So the fight begins as Afro uses Afterburn over the wall to stun Mikshi's Baron, activating his Echo afterwards. Status's Grumpjaw eats Starting's Idris, while Archaic builds Broken Myth stacks on E36's Ardent. Mikshi leaps over the wall and applies a burst of damage to Archaic as Afro comes in for another Afterburn. This would have been it for Mikshi had E36 not dropped the gauntlet directly onto Koshka's head, cancelling her ultimate. This allows Mikshi to land his double attack onto Koshka, activating her Slumbering Husk and reducing her defense greatly through the rest of the fight. Now on considerably lower health, Koshka still dives forward, but Arden is now in position to apply an Atlas Pauldron to both her and her teammate. Mikshi is able to kite now and kills Koshka in a hail of rocket fire. Meanwhile, Grumpjaw has finally spat out Idris and realizes that he can't win a 1v1 against him. He dashes over the wall, but Idris follows, gaining a huge barrier from his Shroud Step and splashes Shimmer Strike damage onto all three enemies. He then proceeds to burst down Baron, who gets a fadeaway rocket onto Glaive after he dies. Now in a 1v2, but on very low health, is where Starting All Over takes Idris to his limits. Using the sustain of the Poison Shiv and perfect activations of his Chakram and Shroud Step, he's able to take down Status on Grumpjaw and escape from the Crystal Sentry on low health, evening out a fight that looked to be very bad for Hammers off the beginning. Lessons to learn here, I would say, would be learning how to gauge your potential damage in a mismatch situation to either win or run away. What Starting All Over was able to do here is he knew that the enemies were grouped up, he knew that he was going to gain a large barrier from using his Shroud Step, and he knew that he had burst and sustain from the Tension Bow and the Poison Shiv that he had. He knows that the Grumpjaw build that Status is using is not for doing 1v1 fights against a hyper-carrying Idris, so he's able to leverage his Chakram and Shroud Step to take out the Grumpjaw with a burst of damage. He then knows that he has to run away because he's in a 1v3, the third member being the Crystal Sentry. If the Crystal Sentry was not there, he could probably take Arden down as well, securing an ace. But he knows when to fight and when to run away. So he's able to turn this fight around from a very bad fight for Hammers into a 2-for-2 trade. So as you get better and better at Vainglory, you become better and better at being able to realize which skills are of when, which cooldowns are happening, which on-hit effects you have, and then also with the enemies too. You know whether that Arden has Vanguard or not, you'll know whether that Grumpjaw can 1v1 you with a specific build, you'll know when you can and can't fight next to the Crystal Sentry. Spoiler alert, you almost never can. Another thing that I want to talk about here is useless ultimates, namely when Status 8 Starting All Over. There was really no point. Usually when Grumpjaw eats somebody, he wants to dash away from the allies of the person he's eaten, and everyone wants to pile onto the guy that Grumpjaw ate. However, the rest of Status's team was focusing on Mikshi on the Baron, instead of Starting All Over after he was spat out. Idris is not the target that you want to be eating, never mind, I mean the rest of the fight was focused on Baron, and Status was just kind of left standing there saying, hey guys, aren't you supposed to, focus down the guy that I eat? And the ult ended up being completely useless as Starting All Over came back to kill Status in the end. So I guess, bottom line, perfect mechanics here can mitigate poor decision making, namely fighting in a 1v3 plus the Crystal Sentry. Perfect mechanics being Starting All Over playing a weapon carry. If you don't think that Starting All Over is one of the best weapon carries in the world, I don't know what you're on. But his perfect mechanics here were able to mitigate the fact that he was diving the Crystal Sentry in a 1v2 situation against a Grumpjaw in the Arden. I'm not sure if he knew he was going to survive this and did it on purpose, or if he was just like, well, I might as well just fight it out, and if I die, I die. But Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this short video. I hope you enjoyed this new kind of format, and if you like what I'm doing here, think about subscribing. It helps me out. I'll see you all later.